Disruptor channel. Don't forget, while you're here, if you like what you see, please feel free to subscribe, leave a comment, thumbs down, thumbs up, whatever you feel like. Don't just come and go, essentially. But so today's topic, what we're going to talk about today, is we're going to go over motivation. Now, what are the types of motivation? Generally, motivation comes in two facets. And it comes in a push-pull method at its core. Now, you can go over like, oh, you know, like how to build motivation on it, but at its core, it's either a push or a pull, right? Either the motivation pushes you, right, to excel or to do what you need to do to get you through it, or it pulls you through it. And a good example of a push, right, something that pushes you through something is motivation for success, right, to getting through something. Motivation that pushes you along because of, be it fear of failure, which you should never feel failure, right? You should never fear it. That is a big misconception of fear and failure. Failure should be embraced, accepted, and through time negated. It's just the natural process of it. You have to fail in order to succeed. Einstein, Thomas Edison, 1,000 failed experiments before the light bulb was perfected. An incandescent light bulb. Those things, you have to be ready for those, and when you accept them, it helps with your motivation. That's why you should never use the fear of failure as a motivator, because it's not really a motivator, right? And those are examples of what people use to push them. I don't want to fail, so I have to succeed. It pushes you to success. Now, what's the difference of making it pull you to success? Same circumstances, but using a pull motivation modality versus a push, right? And a pull is something where you want it. You really want it. It draws you to it. When it sucks and you're out of resources, time, or effort, and you're fully frustrated, it still pulls you through it in order to want to accomplish it, right? We've all been there where you've had something or a project or a task or something where it's just, you're like, fuck this shit, right? I'm fucking done with it. Nobody wants to do shit. I'm doing fucking everything, blah, 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 blah. All you're really doing is lying to yourself, right? And what it is you haven't found a motivation that'll pull you. You used a push, and when you use pushing motivation, if you stop, the push stops, right? You become the immovable object to your own motivational push, right? If you do that, and it happens more often than not, and that's where people reach the disconnect for failure. Now, the pull is not something I've created or come up with. It is the typical guru magic, as you want to call it. And I'm no guru. I don't plan to be one. There are plenty of really genuine gurus out there, like the Tony Robbins of the world. Believe it or not, Tai Lopez is a motivator. If you pay attention to how he says and delivers the messages, he motivates you to do a task that's really, really complex. SMMA, as he branded it, is not. He makes it very motivational to want to go do it, and it's got a great push, but it doesn't pull. And you got to have that pull. Like in Tony Robbins' words, you got to have that pull. You got something to pull. If you want to take the island, burn the boat, as he says. You have to be prepared to burn the boat, right? To force success, and that is a pull. You have no going back. You have no fallback. You have nothing that's pushing you. It's only pulling you. That's what you need for motivation. Something that pulls you, right? Pulls you to want to do it. And this is how you get there. How to set up the pull, right, versus the push, right? So here's a good example. I don't feel, or I don't like my job, right? Well, what is it about your job you don't like? Are you undervalued, overvalued? Are you overworked, underworked? Or you just downright don't like it, right? Well, then your best answer is really easy, and that is to really go in and crush it then. If you don't like the job, it's undervalued to you, it's minuscule to you, you feel underachieving in it, then excel at it, right? Then excel at it, right? Those are not excuses on why you can't do a good job or why you can't be motivated. Those are excuses on why you don't want to put in a good job or a good effort, right? If you really think about it. Go out, do it, and crush it. Who cares? If your job is to dig 1 foot holes every 25 feet, be the best 1 foot hole digger you can be, right? Be the best at it. Don't go, oh, you know. And that's the thing I see, being a manager and having ran a business, worked in a major corporation, been in the military. I've seen it where people just won't attack the mundane. They won't go after it. I built a reputation on handling the mundane. I've gone in front of directors and said, I understand you have a really good team. I'm not here to fix nothing. The only thing I can really see that I can really benefit to you and to your team is let me tackle the mundane stuff, the stuff that is not value add to them to deliver the product we need for the company. That is stuff that just slows them down. Let me get, as I say, let me get the ash and trash out of the way so you guys can go excel at your job and do what you do really well. What I can't do, right? But what I can do is knock out the mundane, right? Get rid of the stupid, not the stupid, but just the mundane task out of the way and put 100% effort into it. You know, go out and freaking grind away and crush it, you know, is really it. And what I'm getting at here, folks, is maintain the motion. When you don't feel like it, how do you get that pull? Go through the motions. You don't like the project you're on? Go to work on it. Like, really go to work on it. Forget the fact you don't like it. You don't like the people in it. It frustrates you. It keeps you up at night. Ignore those factors and just focus on the factors of going into the office, going in and start the motions. Make a list of the objectives you need to accomplish for the day and go accomplish them, right? And if you feel, oh, I really don't want to have to do another fucking TPS report, right? Another one. I just did one like 2 weeks ago, and these things aren't due in a quarter. And I'm making the whole TPS thing. It's an Office Space reference if you don't get it. I'm sure most of you are laughing their asses off there. But yeah, if you don't, then go out and fucking crush it. Go through the motions. Just go out. All right, queue up the computer, draft up the TPS report, start digging through spreadsheets. It is very mundane, right? But what's to say, why can't you make that data present itself better? Why do you have to follow the template forms? Why can't you change the way the message is being delivered? I do it. You know, if somebody says that they don't like it, then go back to it. But no one says you have to or you can't, right? Just go out and go through the motions. That's the trick. Because as you begin the motions, your body starts to stage for it, and it wants to stage for success. Your body does not, you do not engage in things simply for the hopes of failure, right? You do not engage things simply for the hopes of getting through it. You engage things for the hopes of high rate of success, high success, and gratitude for success, right? If you get gratitude out of failure, well, you're kind of like me. I do get a little gratitude out of failure because I take the different approach with failure and problems. I don't look at them as a problem or a failure. I look at them as a learning point. And if you can't pull or extract a learning point in order to readapt your plan to be successful, then your plan was flawed from the beginning, right? And you need to reevaluate your approach and find a better approach, or go through the motions and discover it. But that's the key. Like, going through the motions will get you there, and it'll get you through it. And I do it every day. For somebody who has PTSD, the hardest part of my day is getting out of bed, right? Getting out of bed. Not even counting the days where I have a ton of PTSD, my anxiety beats the piss out of me. It becomes the monster that sits on my chest and keeps me in bed. But you know what I do? I kick that motherfucker off my chest and I put my feet to the floor and I go through the motions, right? I don't always feel my best, so I don't always get to train, right? But if I waited till I only felt good to train, I'd be a fat fucker. But what I found that is if I go to the gym or I go to work out at home, which I mostly do because I'm not a fan of the gym environment. I like my workouts, I like to get through them, and I like to rip through them. Right? Plus, I'm afraid of how funny I look when I do some of these exercises. And to Alpha, it is true. It may look funny, but it gets results. And the hard part is getting through the whole I look funny doing it, right? But the results, they're there. Yeah, right? And you have to, sometimes in order to get those results, you just have to go to the gym and agree to put yourself through the motions. And by putting yourself through the motions, even if it's a technical workout and all you're working is technique, and let me figure out my technique on how I'm going to deliver this product, or how I'm going to lift this weight and move it to where I need it to go in the right form, in the right technique, and get the most out of my workout, or future workouts. And that's the key is we all go to the gym and we see people with horrible form, and they go to the gym and they're pushing up heavy weight and their form is dog shit, right? Go in, take the weights off, lose the ego, check it, leave it in the parking lot, right? Walk in and don't care that yesterday you were lifting 245s on each side and today you're just rolling with the bar. I'm just lifting the bar. The bar is not giving me anything weight-wise or any restrictions that I need, but I am working. I will use the time where I am not feeling the most energetic, but I will go through the motions. And what I found is that every time I do that and I just say, hey, let's just go through the motions, like, all right, let's get 6 or 7, you know, let's do 2 or 3 sets, let's work on form, we won't put any weights up, let's go get the, you know, the PVC pipe to work on my clean and jerks, you know, that kind of stuff. We won't sit there and do the heavy weight. We won't, and just focus on making yourself better, grinding or honing your skill when you're not feeling well or you're not feeling up to it or you don't have the motivation will provide you motivation. You will instantly get a pull and you won't believe it when it happens, but you'll go to the gym, you'll start putting no weights on, and this is for those who work out regularly or not so regularly. You'll get on, you'll roll some light weight, you'll start getting going, and your brain will fire up. And you'll be like, dude, I need to put some steel on there. Let's get some steel going. Let's get this going. Let's really attack this. What am I doing here? And you will. And that's the reason why I always tell people, if I only went to the gym when I felt good or I felt energetic, I'd be a fat fucker, right? It's the same reason why people sit there and they go, you know, I tell people, and I take it from 10X. The friends of mine that tell me to slow down are either misinformed or not really my friend, are highly confused about who I am or are not my friends, right? Yes, I run 90 miles an hour. I push myself very hard. I'm up early every morning, even though 2 to 3 and sometimes 3 hours before I actually have to be up to get started to be somewhere. But I get up early because I know I can't. Staying up late takes away from my ability to function, and it motivates me to get up early. It's my pull, you know, because if I'm up early and I'm posting early and I'm attacking my videos and I'm leveraging all my downtime, I'm effectively creating a pull, you know, and that pull is you need to make, you know, you need to get your videos. Why do I need to get my videos up every morning at 5 a.m.? Why am I filming 2 to 3 shows a day sometimes in order to get my schedule down? Well, because the key to success in YouTube, right, is consistency, right? Consistency is king, right? You can have great quality and be inconsistent with your layout and you'll get nowhere on YouTube. And there's a lot of good flash hits there in YouTube. You can be really crappy with your content, but you can be consistent. And the interesting part is if you're consistent even with crappy content, as I was told from another YouTuber, if you're consistent with crappy content, your content will get better. Your consistency is the hardest thing to improve in YouTube, right? And I've improved my consistency. I started off small. I made it achievable. I figured, okay, I'll put 1 video out a month or a week, right? I'll spend all week filming tidbits of that. I'll spend Saturday editing and post Saturday night, and my video will be, editing Friday, and Friday night I'll post it so it'll be ready for Saturday and the weekend. Well, as fun as that is, I found that the only time I could do what I wanted to do for the video was during the weekends, right? So I had to film during the weekends and edit during the week, and what I realized was that I spend a lot of time putting nifty little post-product things, and I think I was boring my target audience with it because it wasn't quick and to the point, you know. And I realized that I don't need the 45-minute videos. I mean, the adventure videos are great, but you have to have those functionalities and you have to get there with it. And finding those things to pull is my examples. That's what pulled me. Was I wanted to be consistent. I knew that if I was consistent, I would eventually become successful, right? So I hammered down on the consistency, the part I could control in the equation of success. And that became my pull was, Drew, you need to get your video out. You need to be consistent because consistency is the key. That's not a push. Pushing you like, hey, let's get that video out. Did you do that video? Is it posted yet? That's a push, right? A pull is you have to do it, right? You want to do it because it's going to lead to you being successful, right? And that's the push-pull method. And really, like I said, just go out and crush it. If you really want to go out and crush it when you don't have the motivation, just go through the motions. Just tell yourself, I'm going to go through the motions, I'm going to go down and I'm going to hit each and every one of these, and I'm going to do it to my best of my ability, regardless if I don't like it or I don't want to or I don't feel up to it, right? And what you realize will happen is two things. You'll get through it and your brain will shut down that mode and you'll move through, right? And always remember yourself, and it sounds silly, use the 5-second launch method. If you're struggling to get yourself going and pushing, use the 5-second launch method. And a good example of it is getting up in the morning, right? Is you're in your bed, it's cold, you know, and you're cozy, you're comfy, you're warm, you're happy, you know, you feel comfortable, you feel safe. No shit, you should feel safe tucked up in your bed, curled up at night, right? The problem is you have to leave that safety, and the problem is your brain doesn't want you to, right? So what do you have to do? You start telling yourself, okay, I'm gonna get up when the alarm goes off, and then right before, at the 6-second mark, your brain farts, I'll just hit the snooze, you got another 10 minutes, you'll be fine. No need to get up. Wow, we'll do it tomorrow, right? We can do this tomorrow. Let's attack this tomorrow. We're tired. And what you really need to be telling yourself is 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, feet to the floor, right? I'm up, I'm moving, I'm doing it, I'm executing, right? Because here's another thing to remind yourself for good motivation. Think of accomplishing a task or task as a percentage, right? Based on what you say you're going to do. Right? Your personal execution plan. If you sit there and you say, I'm going to do this by this time, right? Then do it, because if you only execute 70% of what you say you're going to do, you're only average. If you go to 80, you're a little bit above average. You have to get yourself in the 98% category of executing what you say you're going to do to truly drive for consistency toward success. That should be your motivation. Consistency toward success, right? The pull. So with that, we're here. It's a little run long. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. If you didn't, leave a comment below on why you didn't. Put the thumbs down, put a thumbs up, whatever. Just remember, work hard and play nice.